y'all, it's Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Thanks for joining me for another crafty venture. Today, our venture is a birthday collaboration. I am hopping along with my sweet friend Maria of Maria Nyce Designs, and we both have birthdays in January, so we decided that our collab would just be focused on birthdays. Anything goes birthday. So I am just going to jump right into my process. Here you can see I have that sweet and sassy stamp set. It is called Beary Happy Birthday. It is as sweet as it can be. So I have stamped it all out. I've heat embossed with my Brutus Monroe Raven. You see that process going on there. And I actually messed up my stamping a little bit on the other side, so I had to stamp that guy out a little bit more. And there's only one birthday hat stamp, and you see that I heat embossed it several times. I wasn't sure how many I was going to need. And also just the nature of the artistry for these stamps, the lines don't all connect, but then as I said, I also had some trouble with my heat embossing, so I just brought in that little lip pen and tried to connect some of those lines that I felt were either missing from the stamping process, or I just wanted to connect the artistry. So anyway, I did that, and then I just zoomed right in and pulled out my Daniel Smith little paint palette that has quickly become one of my favorites, and I pulled out all my paint brushes and I just went to town. You guys, if you've been with me for any time at all, you know that my painting process is just kind of down and dirty. You know, I try to kind of do the darkest color along the edges and then use a clean brush and kind of pull that color out so that I can kind of fade it out and make sure that my shadows and things are proper. But you know, I don't worry too much about accurate shading and where my lighting is coming from and all that. I just go where I think the shadows would be, just kind of in nature, but I don't give it a whole lot of thought. And so I have this process sped up 2, maybe 3 times depending on the segment, and several times I just went out of screen altogether, so I had to cut that off. But I have 3 different bears. I have a grizzly bear, I have a brown bear, and as you can see I have this sweet polar bear, and I think he might be my favorite. Look at him, he's like he's confused. He's not really sure what's going on, like how can we all be together? But it's like family, right? We might live all over the place, but we come together to celebrate those milestones in life. Birthdays, holidays, things like that. So that's kind of my storyline behind this card. I think these bears are super, super cute. So this is the guy that's bringing the balloons, and you can see that bunny up top. He was the first one I did. He's the one with the gift, right? And then there's the big bear. I don't know if he's Mama, Papa, Grandpa. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think his relation is to the rest. But he's the Grizz. Or she. And then the brown bear is the one carrying it's like a red bushel basket full of bunnies. It's just cute. I haven't gotten to him yet. Actually, well, we'll see what happens in this next segment. But I just think that this little polar bear is as cute as he can be. There's my brown bear right there. I'm going out. I zoomed out a little bit more. I felt like I was zoomed in too close, and I was losing a lot of what I was, just my process, because I kept going off screen, and here I may actually have zoomed out too far. But anyway, you see my painting, and that grizzly bear, he kind of looks more like a honey bear, doesn't he? Okay, back to my hop, or my collaboration. I keep saying hop. It's a collab with Maria Nyce of Maria Nyce Designs. So I will have her link down below. I want you guys to go check her out and see what she does. And if you don't know her already, she is one of the sweetest, kindest, most genuine people I've ever met. And we've not ever met in person, actually. We became friends through Handmade Happiness and Team Tiny and craft collabs, but it all started with Handmade Happiness. And just let me encourage you, check out those groups. If you are a crafter, if you have any interest in doing this type of thing, check out those groups. You will be supported, you will be encouraged, enriched, nourished, all those wonderful things, and you'll be surprised. You'll have friendships. It's an interesting dynamic because become friends with people you've never personally met, but the relationship is still very much there. And Maria is very much a girly girl, right? So she likes glitter. She likes glam. She likes florals, especially mermaids, fairies, nymphs, things like that. And here I go making a bear card. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? But it's okay. It's okay, because it was an anything goes challenge, and I had this set from Sassy and Crafty, and I just had to use it. These bears were just calling my name. So anyway, I'm just painting them out, and I think they're adorable. I tried to use my scan and cut, but that machine and I, we just don't get along. So anyway, I just pulled out my little scissors, and these were easy enough to fussy cut out. So I cut out all three of them. I cut out the little bunny with the package and all the little birthday hats. So that you see, it's an easy process. Just don't. And I left that little white border around everything, so I didn't go in with my black pen as you've often seen me do, just to kind of clean up the edges. But on this, I wanted that little border. So in just a second, I will pull out my Whimsy Stamps metal craft die, and it is the Slimline Scenic Countryside die set. But before I do that, remembering that Maria loves her some glitter, I thought, let me add some glitter to these guys. So I pull out my quickie glue pen, and I pull out my clear glitter, and I add some glitter to each one of the images. The hats all get some glitter on the stripes. That little grizzly bear has it all on his ruff, and then I can't remember where I put it on the other two. The balloons on the polar bear, and the brown bear, I can't remember. Was it on the bunnies? Oh, it was on the bow on the barrel that the bunnies are in. Boom. So yeah, they all got some glitter, and I used that quickie glue pen and just set them aside to dry. So here's where I've cut out my frame from the Slimline Scenic Countryside die set, and I also cut 2 rolling hills just to kind of create a very simple, very, very uncomplicated scene for these bears to be in, right? So it is still winter, so I decided I would make kind of a snowy scene, but I did do a little bit of ink blending just to have some shadow and some depth on my little snowy hills. And I could easily have made this into a shaker card, but I opted not to. I did attach one of the rolling hills to the panel itself, and then the second one is in the back, and it's actually attached to the fun foam there. I'm using that, I think it's called X-Fasten. I know a lot of people really like this tape. It's kind of the bane of my existence. I do not like it. I will not order it again. But yeah, so I taped that second rolling hill down to the back so that I have some depth and some layers. And then look at that glitter. Oh, that is the sky. And I'm telling you, I could have stopped right there. I could have just put a sentiment and called it done. And I love that glittery sky. I started to go with a pattern paper, but the glitter was the right thing. Yep. So then I glued the whole thing down onto the card base, and now I'm figuring out my placement for my scene. And I was going back and forth on where I wanted each player, but I liked that little brown bear. I liked him hiking through the snow, so he just fit there perfectly. 1 foot in the snow, one coming up, and he's carrying that bushel of bunnies. And yeah, each one of them, because there's so many layers on this card, each one of them had to have a little bit of fun foam on certain places just so that they wouldn't kind of crush into the background. So I used my liquid glue, and I used that X-Fasten to give them some lift. And then of course I had to weigh them down with my acrylic blocks. So this little bunny is trying to give the Grizz the gift. And the Grizz is just kind of sitting there dazed and confused and not sure what's happening. So you guys tell me the story behind this. I don't even know. I can't even figure it out. But I just think it's an adorable scene. I love these images. I don't know who the artist was. I'll have to ask my girls over at Sassy and Crafty and see who this artist was. But oh my gosh, I love this set. So I got everything in place, and then I used my Pink Fresh Studio label dies to cut out my sentiment that says Beary Special Happy Birthday. And I actually had foresight, and I did the stamping and heat embossing when I did all the other images. That is not like me, because y'all know I don't plan. I fly by the seat of my pants, but I did that in the beginning, so I'm pretty proud of myself. So again, I had to use a little bit of the foam tape on the back of that sentiment so that it wouldn't crush and it would adhere to the frame as well as to the background. So I had to do a little bit of creative placement so that I could still get my bunny hat on there and not cover up the words. So I got it, and again I used my acrylic blocks to weigh everything down so that they could adhere properly. And again, adhering anything to glitter is not necessarily an easy process. So you got to make sure that you give whatever your adhesive is, and I recommend a liquid glue, but I recommend that you give it plenty of time to dry. So here is my card. I think it's super cute, but I felt like the grizz trudging through the snow and the bunny, that they were just kind of floating there on top of the snow, so I just brought in a little bit more of that, what is that gray? I don't know what it's called. It is that stress oxide and gray. I don't know. I'll figure it out and I'll list it down below. But I just put a little bit of shadow under them. And there's my card, guys. It's super cute. Again, this is a birthday collaboration between me, Nancy the Handy Scandy, and Maria of Maria Nyce Designs. Make sure you guys go over and check her out. Give her a like, a subscribe, ring her bell. Leave us both some comments, guys. Thanks so much. And if you're a January baby, happy birthday. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.